Blue 22.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
Blue 22.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports.
I'm getting it through my laptop because I have it open. I have the YouTube open, and I didn't shut it off. I'm a moron. All right. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about today in our show Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man. I am Shane.
I'm the Brian Man.
Yeah, you are.
You look very monochrome, like Superman, back from the dead kind of look this morning. I like it, actually. It's a good look.
That fits because I think we're going to start doing this show and we're going to be more in sync, more detail oriented, and in less time.
Like Zack Snyder?
Yes, exactly. But he took more time.
He took way more time.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Time.
That's the thing. A lot of people are. There was a person that actually started throwing some arguments about the Justice League and all that kind of stuff, saying how Snyder had a lot more time. Like, yes, he did have more time. I do agree. He had more time with his Snyder cut. He had 4 hours to tell a story, which is much easier to tell a story in 4 hours than it is in 2.5, whatever Joss was given. The problem is Joss gutted the film with his corny ass humor. That's my problem, is that he gutted the film of all of it. Everything that it had kind of like built up between the Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, even the Wonder Woman. Like, yes, there was humor in Wonder Woman, but it still had that darker tone and that darker feel to it. And they were all very cohesive until Joss came in and threw a freaking corny monkey wrench in it that was very aggravating. Like, Batman has always had humor, even in like the Justice League cartoons.
Yeah.
He's had humor, but it's very like subtle, like one-line jab. And it's usually at the expense of other people, not him. I'm definitely bleeding somewhere. Like, that's stupid. Like, don't.
It's definitely bleeding somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's so stupid. Like that, it's just absurd. So anyway, let's get into the show today. If you can go ahead and smash that like button, smash the YouTube algorithm subscriber thingy majigger. If you can subscribe, hit the notification bell. We really appreciate it. And when a new video comes out, if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified because, yes, we go live every Monday around 9 a.m. But I also, throughout the week, split the show up into some clips, and I throw those out throughout the week. So if you miss some of it, you can easily, usually just get notification that a new clip is dropped. And I usually try and do kind of the more entertaining topics throughout the show. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit of PGA with how Stewart Cink had some record-setting days. We'll get into a little MLB, state of the Yankees. Mankeys. And should Brian Cashman be fired? I think your boy Stick Joe will love the talk about that.
Yeah, he will.
We have a little bit of an NBA hypothetical question. Excuse me. This was posted on YouTube somewhere. I saw it and I was like, at first I was kind of like, oh my God, that's stupid. That's like absurd. Like, the fact that anybody even say this is absolutely ridiculous. But then I was like thinking about it, just like one-on-one matchups. And I was like, okay, it's a little more even than I was originally giving it credit for, but still, come on. So we're going to get into that. It's a Lakers all-time team versus an all-time team without any Lakers. Now this, if you were a Laker ever, you cannot be put on that all-time team. So it's not like, just Lakers, like you can take a LeBron and put him as a Cav on an all-time great team. You can't do that. He's just on the Lakers. So we got that. We're going to be talking about how is this actually, where we give a movie that is rated high by critics and maybe sometimes audience, and that we think is overrated and it should not be rated that high. We will also be spinning the Wheel of Destiny later. So we got all of that and a lot more today. So once again, if you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, we really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell. We really appreciate that. And, give us a little like, too. Give us a little thumbs up. It's always much appreciated. So, let's get into the show. We got to get into... Yeah, we'll get into golf. The one thing that we don't have, like, a new segment for yet, that all these stuff that we've been working on, all these different little clips and stuff like that to make the show look a little better. We don't have one for golf. But so we're going to start right off with Stewart Cink, who got his second win of the year in dominant fashion. He beat up Lefty's 2002 13 under through 36 hole record. The Golden Bear also had the same 13 under 36 hole record. Well, Stewart Cink, of all people, was 16 under through 36 holes and is currently 47 years old.
I was going to say, he's got to be close to 50 now,
Yeah.
right? He's been around forever.
So congrats to him and his family. His wife beat cancer a few years back. I mean, there's so much to like about this win for him and his family. I mean, his son was on the bag calling the shots. You have his dad playing, like Stewart playing like a boss at 47. And he hasn't had a 2-win season for 17 years.
Wow.
So congrats to Stewart Cink and his family on going beast mode at the RBC Heritage this past weekend. I just had to throw that out there because normally I probably wouldn't be talking about that. There's a couple of guys that I really like. I follow like the Bryan Bros on YouTube is Wesley Bryan and George Bryan, both stud college golfers. But Wesley Bryan is a PGA professional now, but he's still part of his brother's YouTube channel. And I was really rooting for him. He won the RBC a few years back, and that's his only PGA win. And he finished top 25. So he's putting together some good stuff. There's actually a really good video out there. If you go and check it out on YouTube, go to the Bryan Bros. They actually showed like what he does to like practice to get ready for a tournament like that, like going through his wedge play and going through his like irons and how he's swinging and what he's trying to work on, putting practice, all that kind of stuff. And it was it's fun to watch just to see that stuff. Plus Wesley Bryan is quite the character. So he's fun. Like him and Bubba, they like to play together. Mm-hmm. And them two together, they just kind of like rib each other the whole time.
Bubba Watson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they play together, they kind of like just like nudge each other in the ribs all the time and, have fun with it. So it's a fun watch. It really is. It's a fun watch. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. Do you have anything you wanted to add for?
No, but congratulations to him. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was.
You know how I love old guys, so I'm always rooting for the old guy anyway. So that's right up my alley, that story.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I haven't heard his name in forever.
It's been a while. It has been.
Like I was worried that when you first said his name, I'm like, oh man, did Stewart Cink die or something? Oh no, that's terrible. Oh, he's doing great.
No,
that's 2020 and 2021 for you.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's alive and well. All right, so let's get into. Let's see. Let's go into the MLB, and we will put in our new MLB clip. It's nothing special, but it's something. I think it's something. What do you think? You think it's something?
Yeah. Well, it's not nothing. I don't know what to tell you. It's something.
All right.
It's so loud.
You're so loud. All right. So we have that. We're going to be talking MLB. I wanted to get into a little bit of the MLB here. I pulled up some stuff like MLB standings and things like that because as we talked about last week, things are a little bit crazy right now in Major League Baseball. You have the Red Sox pretty much running away with it, which is so weird because I think we both picked them to be like last. But it's still very early in the season. They haven't even played 20 games yet. They haven't even finished. We haven't even played 20 games yet. So that's one thing. So the Red Sox are in first, Rays in second. That's kind of where we thought the Rays were going to be. Blue Jays are in fourth, Orioles third, and of course the Yankees are really way back, and they are just been playing absolutely horrendous. I don't feel bad for them because it's still very early in the season. but Garrett Cole has been doing a pretty good job. And I don't know, man.
If you can't win with Garrett Cole on the mound, where are the wins coming from?
Oh my God.
Where are they coming from?
Brutal.
They're 5-10, so this is not a ridiculous question to be asking. About roughly 10% of the way through the season, where are the wins coming from? If you can't win, if you can't score runs with Garrett Cole on the mound, where are you scoring runs from? Now, I'm going to give you my assessment of this team and what I think they need to do. And I know you're going to think this is ridiculous, and I don't care. It's my opinion, and that's what we're here for. It's time to move on from Aaron Boone. It's also time to move on from Brian Cashman, but let's be honest, that's not going to happen. He's not going to be the fall guy. They're not going to fire a GM and or a manager in one fell swoop. They're going to do this. They're going to piecemeal it. It would start with a fall guy, and the fall guy needs to be Aaron Boone. Now, a lot of people would say, well, and I know this is what Joe Pacino says. He says, well, how can you really blame Aaron Boone? He's been given these. This is the team he's been given. But the problem with Aaron Boone, there's a couple of things. One, he's got to be one of the worst in-game adjustment managers I've ever seen. He's terrible, by the way, at managing this bullpen. I mean, he's just terrible. He sits guys, and maybe this comes from on high, I don't know, but he sits guys 2 days in a row when they shouldn't be sat 2 days in a row. Like he could have a guy, ripping the cover off the ball, and then he'll say, well, we're not letting you play 5 straight games, so you're going to be benched, but we're also going to do it in front of an off day, so we're going to give you 2 days off before we play you again. So you get a couple days rest. Mm-hmm. Okay. He seems to frequently be outmanaged, in my opinion. I mean, I always feel like every time they play the Rays, Kevin Cash is playing chess, and I don't even know what Aaron Boone's playing. He's not even playing checkers. He's playing something else. He's playing Sorry or Risk or something. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what the fuck he's playing out there. Maybe just Monopoly blindfolded. I don't know what he's doing. But he seems to be frequently outmanaged by almost every coach. He's not a good in-game manager. And here's the big thing. So a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago, he has a closed door meeting, supposedly rips into the team. I'm trying to picture him yelling, and it just makes me laugh. But supposedly he rips into the team. And how does the team go out and respond? They lay an egg the next day, and then the day after that, their ace is on the mound. Maybe arguably the second best pitcher in baseball is on the mound, and they still find a way to lose. That is not your team responding to you as a manager. Every time Joe Torre had a closed door meeting, that team went on a fucking tear. Maybe they lost the immediate next game, but they'd win 16 out of 18. By the way, that's an exact number.
I think Joe Girardi did okay with that too.
Girardi did okay with that too.
Yeah.
He did okay with that too. And Joe Girardi, I didn't like Girardi, but there were things I did like about Girardi. First of all, Girardi's infinitely better than manager than Aaron Boone. It's not even it's not even up for discussion.
That's kind of been proven. Yeah. I mean,
time. But here's the bottom line. Aaron Boone,
although I will say, I think Aaron Boone, this isn't the team for him.
I don't know what the team for him is.
I think a younger team would be better for him.
Well, okay, so this brings me to my point. And
without all the big, because you have Stanton, and even though Judge is kind of young and hasn't played really a full season ever, he's a big icon to deal with. You have him, you have Sanchez, who's been underperforming for the last few years. You have a lot of big names like Garrett Cole, your stud pitcher. You have Aroldis Chapman. These are big, huge names and egos that you have. And I just think that is not necessarily good for him.
Yep. Okay, so this just
doesn't have the winning pedigree really to handle all that.
Let's be honest. What did Aaron Boone actually do to deserve this job? I mean, okay, maybe he interviewed well. Okay, he hit a ball off Tim Wakefield. Yeah. That's what he did.
I do think he's a smart. He does know baseball. Like I said, I just don't think this is the right team.
Yeah, he's like you and me. Okay, no, I shouldn't say that. He knows baseball. He knows baseball through osmosis. I mean, he played. He did play, obviously, and his dad and his brother. So he's been surrounded. The baseball pedigree is there, but the managing he didn't even coach at any level, and you handed him the keys to the ultimate Cadillac.
I was hoping to actually be able to do a State of the Yankees.
Well, this is the State of the Yankees.
Well, apparently. I wanted to get into the whole league and how it's just kind of upside down for the most part.
Well, forget about that. I mean, listen.
If you want to get into the State of the Yankees, well, let me play the clip then.
Oh,
You
go
know,
ahead.
all this hard work done on the clips, and then you don't let me play it. But so I have to click something here, and I'm not sure what's going to happen because something came and it said the current live scene has unpublished changes. And I'm not sure if I click revert to changes or publish, what's going to happen to the YouTube feed. So I'm going to click publish.
We're still on the YouTube feed.
I know, but I haven't clicked anything yet. I've been just staring at this thing on the screen.
Maybe just keep staring at it.
No, I don't want to do that because it's not letting me use some of the functions. So
all right, well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Now the YouTube feed lags a little, so it's not gonna.
Oh.
Are we still there?
Wait.
Are we there?
Hold on. Because it's not letting me use some of the functions. All right. So
all right. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Now the YouTube
It's still
feed
working.
lags a little.
All right, great. All right, it's working.
All right, good.
Excellent. So now if I switch to cameras, hopefully that will pop up and it'll just show you on YouTube because before it was not.
Oh, okay. We'll play your little State of the Yankees clip now.
And here we go. Time for the State of the Yankees, baby.
It's a cool clip.
The State
I like it.
of the Yankees.
Yeah.
All right.
I do like that.
So let me go into what I would do if I were them.
So
again,
I think that this. So what you're saying is so ultimately you're saying Aaron Boone is not the manager for the Yankees, and I'm like, okay, I kind of agree with that, and but I think he's just not the right fit for the Yankees. So which brings me back to who hired this guy and who's paying this guy, and that's Brian Cashman. And I know that this is something that, because I posted it on Twitter, I didn't give a lot of time for the poll to kind of make a run for it at all. But it seemed like it's kind of 60-40 as of right now, fire Cashman, which I think if you fire Cashman, you ultimately send a huge message to the team, because that is a big deal. If you're firing your general manager, who is, in my opinion, he's a top 5 general manager in the league. But I think it might just be the point of where the time has kind of run its course. But you want to talk about Aaron Boone. So let's get into Aaron Boone for a little bit before we get into the whole fire Cashman. So You think Aaron Boone is just...
He's not the guy.
Deserve it. Yeah, he's not the guy.
He's not the guy. And listen, he's had a few years, okay? And this team has literally picked up right where it left off last year. That's not a good thing, by the way, because it's an anemic lineup. It's not built. It's really this lineup. I mean, God, you would have thought they were built to at least succeed in the regular season, but they're just not hitting the ball at all. And the pitching, although it hasn't been great, has not been atrocious. And the bullpen has certainly been serviceable. Okay. But again, he's not managing the bullpen well. I really don't like the way he brings guys in. Why wasn't Aroldis Chapman in the game yesterday? I mean, he should have been in the game. The guy hasn't pitched in forever. Get him in the fucking game. What are you paying him for? Jesus Christ. Get him in the game yesterday. That was ridiculous. He should have been in that game. Listen, I'm not saying that maybe they might still score a run anyway. Did it really matter? They went down like dogs in the 9th inning again yesterday, which is all they do. They just go. I've said this so many times. I'm getting tired of saying this word. They're just heartless. They're gutless. They're a gutless team.
I saw that
they have no backbone.
Our buddy Chris Corelli,
I'm tired of it, man. This team, I'm so tired of this team. They have they're paper champions. They're not even. I won't even use the word champions. They're just paper trash.
Yeah,
they have a glass jaw. They get hit early on and they don't get back up off the mat. That's it.
I think
they are garbage.
I think you're gonna see a different team in like a few weeks.
Well, yeah, maybe when they have a new manager. Listen. The bottom line is this to me. See what I'm talking about, the stuff I'm talking about right now. To me, this is manager.
So you think the players being gutless is strictly because of the manager?
I think it's a reflection of him. Okay. I think it's a reflection of him. Now, here's who I would bring in. Now, I might get laughed at for this, and that's fine. But listen, I'm an older school guy, and I know that old school.
Oh, I know who you're gonna do.
Isn't really in nowadays. Everyone's into metrics. Everyone's into, the analytics side of the game. And I understand that. But I also believe that there is something to be said for managers and coaches who can light fires under players. And there's a guy who I know wants to get back into baseball, a guy who I know has great familiarity with the Yankees, who I think would be a really good fit. And honestly, like, what's the worst that could happen? They're 5-10. They don't even look like a Major League Baseball team right now. They're a complete and total mess. They need someone to light a fire under them. And this isn't a reaction after 15 games. This is 2+ years, 2 full+ years of Aaron Boone. And I'm not seeing a championship caliber manager here. And some people say, well, he won 100 games. Well, again, he didn't win when it mattered most, though. And he was frequently outmanaged in the playoffs. And this team was built for the regular season. But then again, they don't even look like they're built for the regular season right now. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, let's end the suspense here. I would bring back Buck Showalter, because I believe Buck Showalter is the kind of guy who, with this kind of team, could light a fire under them. Yeah. Could maybe get them out of their comfort zone. These guys look a little too comfortable sucking ass right now. And Aaron Boone is not the guy. He's not the guy to light that fire. It's just not in him. He's not that guy.
I think Buck is he's more than just old school, putting the pressure on you. He's analytically smart too.
He is. Yeah. And listen, there's some precedent for this. The man who I believe is the greatest manager in the history of baseball, Tony La Russa, is currently managing right now. He's the White Sox manager. He's very relevant in today's game, managing a team that actually has some American League Championship aspirations, the White Sox. So this isn't that wild of a concept to say, oh yeah, no, forget it. We can't bring Buck Showalter. The game's passed him by, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. I believe this team would respond to him, because I also believe he would shake the lineup up, because I also believe he wouldn't put Aaron Hicks in the fucking 3-hole. Why is Aaron Hicks? Oh, my head hurts. Why is Aaron Hicks hitting third?
Because he walks a lot, supposedly.
He doesn't, though. he strikes out a lot.
He usually walks a lot.
He pops out so much. Oh, my God. Does he get under the ball?
He's been horrendous.
He's terrible. This is, again, another thing. But
I've been banging on Aaron Hicks for years now, and I'm tired of it. I don't want him. I just don't want to see him anymore.
I want all of the Aarons off of this team. Judge, Boone, Hicks, all of them.
Judge, I'm okay with. Judge, I'm okay with, because
he's a strike. He's not clutch. He strikes out.
I'm fine with not having everybody on the team be clutch. I'm fine with.
How about anybody on the team being clutch? Who do you got besides DJ? And even then, he's had his moments this year.
Gardy can come in clutch every once in a while, but he's 92
Gardy's
years
not
old.
A full-time player. I mean, Urshela, and again, Gardy's he's not in this for the long term. Although every year you say that, he keeps coming back. He's basically the Rasputin of Major League Baseball. But Gio might be the closest to clutch on this team right now. And again, he's only hitting like 260, 250.
Everybody's struggling. They're
terrible.
Glaber, who's under 200. You have Stanton under 200. Hicks under 200. Frazier under 200. Who else?
Now, my preference.
Rougned Odor under 200. Okay, Mike Tauchman under 200.
Yeah, listen. Rougned Odor was cupping.
Kraken's batting 237.
Right. That's about as
That's like,
and he's hurt. And he's hurt already.
Yeah.
Why does he hold his hand in front of him when he's catching? Higashioka does it too. I don't know why. That's a big risk.
It's just they feel more comfortable, and it's like.
Does it feel comfortable when the ball gets fouled off your hand?
Right. It's not smart. I didn't say it was smart, but you can feel like you can move better when you have your hands.
All right. So let me let you respond to the Buck Showalter idea.
Mm-hmm. I love Buck Showalter. I always have. I still to this day feel bummed.
He got the short end of the stick.
Bummed for him, yeah, because he took that team from being a crap team for decades, and then he ended up getting booted, and his team ended up going to the World Series.
That's the other part of it for me too. Is I love Joe Torre. I love Joe Torre, but let's be honest. If Buck Showalter had been given one more year, who knows what Joe Torre would be right now? Mm-hmm. I really don't know what he would be, because he would have never been the manager of the Yankees if Buck Showalter had gotten one more year.
Right. There's a lot of things that you could say about that. Like if Joe Torre didn't have Zim, I mean,
yes, right. Yeah, as Joe called me the other day, and he's like, he's like,
not Torrey, not Joe Torrey.
He's like, all Torrey had to do was sit there in the dugout and wait for Zimmer to wake him up in the ninth to call Mariano in. I mean, listen, and again, I love Joe Torre. Love him. I have a reverence for him the same way Derek Jeter does, where I almost want to refer to him as Mr. Torre, because that's how strongly I feel about him.
He's a good
but
dude.
I also recognize that Buck Showalter is a really good manager, and he did get the short end of the stick in '95. He was made a fall guy. I'm not even sure why he was made a fall guy. The team made the playoffs, and if not for a really unfortunate run-in with the Mariners in '95 in that division series, Buck Showalter is in the ALCS.
I will say,
it's weird to fire a guy who almost made it to the ALCS.
There are some managers and even like CEOs in the world of business that like are good at getting the team, making the team from nothing and building, or the company up from nothing and building it to something, but have a hard time taking it to that next level. I don't believe Buck would have that problem.
No,
I think
don't
if he
either.
is given the team, I think his team can do it for him.
Sure,
He just happened to have built up teams, and then he gets let go right before his team goes deep in the playoffs.
Buck has, what's funny about Buck? He's a class act too. Buck Showalter has every reason to dislike and hate the Yankees, and yet he's on their payroll. Like he's actually still working with the team. He's been part of the broadcast. By the way, when he is in the studio and giving analysis, and sometimes it's like he almost seems like he's a little like neurotically crazy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I love his analysis though. I mean, the fucking guy breathes baseball. Just
Smart
loves
man.
baseball. So smart. And here's the other thing. There's one other thing here with Buck. I mean, yes, I would like to see him get a little bit of redemption too with this organization, because frankly, I think he kind of deserves it. But here's the other thing. Could this be one of those scenarios of history repeating itself? There is also some precedent for maybe doing something like this. And I'm going way back here to 1978. Okay. But if you recall, in 1978, Billy Martin. Now, this is like the reverse of that, though. This would be the opposite, because Billy Martin was the fiery manager but his act had gotten very tired with that Yankees team. He was disliked by Reggie Jackson. He and Reggie just couldn't stand each other. And the Yankees very swiftly and very intelligently brought in a guy named Bob Lemon, who brought a great deal of calm to that team. That team was 14 games back in August, ended up winning the pennant, ended up winning the back-to-back World Series. And that would not have happened if Billy Martin had stayed on as manager. That team would have imploded under itself. Maybe it's time to do the reverse of that and bring in the fiery guy who could actually light the fire under the team, and get rid of the calm guy with his metrics and his analytics and his binders and, all these, analytics guys whispering in his ear from, I swear to God, if Aaron Boone doesn't have a fucking earpiece waiting for orders from above, I don't know what. But the bottom line is, if you bring in a guy like Buck, maybe it turns around. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does. I'm getting tired of the Aaron Boone scene.
Yeah,
it's not doing anything for me.
Walter coming in and being the manager, I'd be okay with that.
It's not going to happen.
That I would.
It's not going to happen.
Well,
to be clear,
I would never say never. But
it's not going to happen.
It might not happen this year.
It's just wishful thinking on my part.
But yeah, so the other issue is when we were talking about Brian Cashman. So that's a topic that's come up.
He should be gone too, but that's also not going to happen.
Fairly regularly over the last couple of years. Something, especially with your buddy Joe, he that's like his mantra over the last several years is to fire Cashman. And I'm starting to get on board with that, just basically not because I don't think he's a good general manager. I think he's a really good general manager. I just don't think he's the right fit anymore. I think time has just kind of passed him. Time has run its course. He's been the general manager or in that kind of seat for a long time. And
too long.
I do think it would be nice to kind of get somebody. But the problem is who do you go with at that point? And there's only one guy I would back up the truck and dump money all over his yard.
Theo?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
He has a job with MLB right now, but he would gladly, if he had enough money, gladly step aside. Because Theo is the guy. I mean, in my opinion, he has tortured us because he's obviously won with the Red Sox. He broke their curse, and then they kind of went bananas. He also broke the curse of the Cubs.
But, the curse breaker, yeah.
Yeah, and he is, in my opinion, the best general manager to ever be a general manager.
I'm not. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue.
He is a brilliant man. Not just a brilliant baseball man. He is a brilliant man.
He is.
And it's tough for me to say that because obviously Red Sox, the Cubs, I was happy for the Cubs. That's great. But, he's got that Red Sox look. But Babe Ruth, Roger Clemens.
If you could tell me I could have Theo and Buck running the show in a year, I'd be all over that.
I'm not sure Theo and Buck would run well together.
No, I don't think they would either. But if you could tell me that. But I like the idea because it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I think Buck would need somebody maybe like a Cashman or somebody that's a little bit more laid back because Buck is a lot.
Buck's dominant.
Yeah.
He's an alpha.
Yeah. And
Buck just wouldn't take any shit from this team.
Right.
And I still fully think he's capable of Tony La Russa is capable of still managing. So is Buck.
I think if you're sticking with Aaron Boone, I think you need Theo Epstein. I think if you're sticking with Brian Cashman, you need Buck Showalter because you need one of those alphas somewhere.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
It needs to be one of those giant heads, and that's either the GM or the manager. So,
I guess in that scenario, I would probably take the Theo Boone combination, but very reluctantly.
Yeah, because I think that would allow Boone a little bit more flexibility, and you actually get a sense of how good of a manager he is.
I think
right now,
how good or bad of a manager he is already.
Right, no, but I don't think you do because I don't think it's him pulling the trigger. He's not the one who's making these decisions, I don't believe.
Well, then what's the point of him?
Right, that's what I mean.
He's just a figurehead then.
That's what I mean. That's why you need to get rid of one of these two guys.
And Buck wouldn't walk into a situation like that. If he knew that that's how it was going to be, the shots being called from
that's what I mean. That's why you need Buck Showalter because he would say, "I'm calling the shots."
Right.
And then they would have to be okay with that.
If you really want to old school it, just let Buck be the GM too.
No.
No, I'm kidding about that.
That's too much, especially for an old man like Buck.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want him making personnel decisions. Let somebody else buy the groceries. I just want him to cook. Because somebody else, I'm tired of watching Aaron Boone and his fast food burger flipping. It's just this is a trash organization right now. It's time for change.
It's not, I mean, it's still very early. I mean, they have 15 games in the season, so
I know, but
let's not get too crazy here. But
I just don't like the way they responded to, again, closed door meeting, and the team just comes out and they not only did they continue to look as flat as they did, they looked like worse actually, and they were getting booed. This is the only time you could actually hear 10,000 people boo and have it be palpable, like you could really hear the booing. Yeah. And it was only 10,000. Imagine if it was full capacity, 49,000 people. Yeah. How much louder that would have been.
Be pretty nutty.
Yeah.
Faux show. All right. Let's get into, I mean, that's pretty much it for our state of the Yankees.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's been brutal. This year has not been all that fun so far. There's been several games that I've just stopped watching in like the 5th or 6th inning.
Yeah, I put something up because once they got hit in the jaw, that was it. They were down. They were down for the count. They weren't going to come back.
It's been tough. So that's where we are. But I mean, across the league, if you're looking across the league in the MLB right now, it's all it's a little weird, except for in the National League.
Except for the Dodgers.
The Dodgers. I mean, even the Padres are not playing as well as you'd think they were going to be playing. Yeah. But like I said, it's still very early. I would bet $500 that the Padres are going to at least be in second place by the end of the year.
I'd bet 500 that the Dodgers are going to repeat.
There is a good chance. They have a really, really good team. The Mets are playing well, and the Mets are going to get some other players back, and they're going to be probably even better.
By the way, I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but oh my God, Jacob deGrom is just got to be the best pitcher I've ever seen.
We need some like swooning music for you.
I mean, he's just. I mean, listen, Pedro's there.
We have to wait and see, though. We have to wait and see how he does, because Pedro had big moments in big games, whereas
Yeah,
DeGrom
I need to
hasn't
see.
had
I need to
that
see DeGrom with the
deep
like the
playoff
postseason
run.
resume.
Yeah, like
I need to see but man, oh man, just from a stuff perspective, is just unbelievable. 17 strikeouts the other day. I mean, Jesus.
he's a stud. I've liked him for a long time. But I mean, even if you look, I mean, you're looking at some big. I mean, he is a stud. He's a regular season stud for sure. I just need to know what.
I just think the gap between him as the number one pitcher in baseball, the ace of aces, and the next guy is huge. I think the next guy's Garrett Cole. I think it's Cole.
He's probably
but the gap.
there. Blake
to me,
Snell,
the gap's
you
big.
have there's some Blake Snell. He had one rough outing this year, but there's a lot of really talented pitchers out there. I don't know if it's that far. It's not head and shoulders.
Strikeouts are up, pretty big around the league.
Yeah, well, I mean you had a weird year last year, and now you have you have a lot more substitutions. There's going to be a lot of injuries, a lot of COVID stuff related stuff. Like there's just a lot. I mean, people getting their second shots and not being able to play for days. So you're going to have a lot of subs and stuff like that coming in, and strikeouts are going to be up for sure. But then the other thing is your boy Mad Bum finally pitched an okay game.
Yeah.
Man, he's been having a rough go.
Yeah, it's just that magic's not there anymore.
Well, it might be just because of Zona. I mean, Arizona's
bad.
Not a fun
and he's
place to
older.
play.
I mean, he's older. He's older. He had an injury.
31.
He's still older.
It's 31.
He had an injury. I think it's the injury more than anything else.
That was 2 years ago. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, it.
Come on.
It takes one.
He's throwing. He's got his low 90 fastball again. He's not throwing 88 anymore.
Just put him on the mound in October. Put him on ice until October.
I think he just needs a different change of scenery. Because if you have Arizona and even San Francisco is a much better baseball town than Arizona.
Yeah.
I think it's just Arizona is just it sucks unless you're a hitter.
I don't know what Arizona is. Basketball?
Phoenix, I guess. Maybe.
I guess the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals are,
The Cardinals are. They got Kyle. That's good.
Yeah, they got K1. Yeah.
They're good enough.
I guess.
All right, let's get to the next topic. Let's move on to. Let's get into the NBA. I do not have a topic. I don't have a segment clip for that yet. But I do have is this picture, and this picture is a picture that I saw on YouTube. And I'd like to hear from anybody out there who and what they think, what would happen. 7-game series. This all-time Laker team versus an all-time team. And that is already put out there. We have Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon versus Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaq.
Yeah. It's not like an apples for apples thing, though, because, yes, you're comparing position by position, but some of these players and their skill sets are so very, very different, So I had it just doing the one-on-one matchups. I had it 3-2 in favor of the not Laker team.
And I'm guessing you had Jordan, Duncan, and Olajuwon.
Correct. Yes. Yep. That's exactly how I had it. And I know a lot of people might say, wait a minute, you can put Olajuwon over Shaq? I would. I think Hakeem Olajuwon's the greatest center of all time. Yeah, I actually do too. I understand Shaq's dominance, and that's but his size dictated that.
But you even asked Shaq.
But
who gave him fits?
He would say Olajuwon. He would say Olajuwon. And again, I have PTSD with Olajuwon because of just how many times he dream shook David Robinson out of his shoes, and that sticks with you a little bit.
He was so quick. Those fast twitch
but
muscles.
If you look at but what's funny is if you look at the guys where I would have chosen the Lakers, it's such a not apples to apples comparison. Yes, position wise, but LeBron and Larry, I mean, come on. You couldn't have two different players.
This is my whole problem with this. This is my whole problem with this right now. LeBron and Larry, I think that's a good one-on-one matchup. And I think that you have two guys. I think LeBron is like a 2.0 version of Larry. But I think Larry had better court vision. And I think he was a better defender, which is kind of saying a lot because LeBron James was a great defender. Larry Bird just had some of those hands. The problem is he wasn't fast. And
No,
that's where LeBron he's just more athletically gifted.
Yeah, he would.
And I
probably
do think Larry Bird would give LeBron some fits. Whereas I think
he'd be popping threes.
Whereas
it'd be very difficult for
right. And I think that I think across the board, I think you'd see Steph Curry versus Magic. Magic is obviously a better player, but I don't know if he could hang with Steph Curry out on that arc.
No, that's right.
So
right.
that's where.
But
I don't think Steph Curry could not even come close to stopping Magic.
No.
So that's where I think I give him a little bit of an edge there. Now, Kobe versus Michael, everybody knows carbon copy of Michael Jordan is
right.
Not
I'd rather have the original than the
original, and the original is a little bit more of a will to win.
The assassin.
Yes. And then you have Larry versus LeBron. I think Larry would give LeBron fits, but LeBron is he would win. He would win that matchup. And then you have Kareem versus Duncan. Duncan's the
greatest power forward who ever lived.
Kareem is not he's not the defender that Duncan was.
Duncan's the greatest power forward to ever live.
I agree with you. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is not even a power forward. That's like you have two centers at that point.
Yeah,
but
really.
He's a beast too, and he's played center. So it's not like that is a matchup that I think that Duncan would win just because he's just so fundamentally sound. Whereas I think he would
a big fundamental.
He'd be able to get under the skin of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and shut him down. And then you have Hakeem and Shaquille. I think that's a very close matchup, but I think ultimately
so different styles.
Ultimately,
the styles are just so different.
Hakeem would just dominate. Not dominate.
But
Hakeem would win that matchup.
Hakeem's mid-range game would be a problem for Shaq.
And
the dream shaking and the turnaround jumpers. Oh God!
And then even though he's got that size advantage, and he would push him around. Yeah. Hakeem has never cared about that. He enjoyed when Shaq pushed him around because he knew that he still was quick enough to get to the shot and block it, or get his hand in his face and make him alternate. I mean,
Olajuwon was not a small guy.
No, and he has lanky, long arms.
Yeah, big arms, big wingspan. I just think
dude
it
led
would
the
have been
league
a problem.
in so many categories.
I just don't know how Shaq would have defended him. Yeah. I don't know how Shaq would have defended him because Olajuwon could dominate inside and mid range. It would have been a real problem. Yeah. Those baseline turnaround jumpers. Yeah. I just don't know how Shaq would have handled that.
And that's not even including his defense.
Right. I'm not even. Yeah. And Shaq can't hit a free throw to save his life either. Right. So it's a problem.
And the dream was, like 80 something from the line.
Yeah, I mean, he's such an underrated player. Such an underrated player.
I don't know why he doesn't get more love. You got to go back and watch some film about him, man. Even listen to Shaq talk about him.
Just watch him destroy David Robinson. Listen, and as a Spurs fan, I'm telling you.
Watch him destroy Patrick Ewing.
David Robinson is one of the greatest centers to ever live. He's also one of the 50 greatest players to ever live. And Hakeem Olajuwon just abused him to the point where the police should have been called. I mean, it was really unfair. It was unfair.
I mean, he did that to a lot of people. He did that to Shaq.
He did. But when you're the best,
Orlando, he did it to Shaq. Yeah. When he did it to Patrick Ewing. He did it to all these stud centers that were, supposed to be great. They were.
Ewing was
as great.
Ewing to me was like the carbon copy of Olajuwon, not as good as the original. But a lot of similarities, though.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities.
Lanky, good mid-range game.
Good mid-range, yep. Ewing could hit that turnaround jumper from the baseline, too. Like that kind of...
But not as quick. Just wasn't as quick.
No, nowhere near again, like a copy.
Yeah.
Just not quite as good as the original.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So, I'd like to hear what anybody else has to say about the all-Laker team versus the all-time team, which is, I don't even think that's, that's a good all-time team right there. That is a solid all-time team.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty great all-time team.
Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Duncan, Olajuwon. Yeah. You can't do much better than that. So if you have a better version,
I give the nod. I give the nod individually to Magic and to LeBron. But I also do think, though, that there are very conflicting styles between those four players. And I do think that there would be certain things that Larry could do that would probably drive LeBron nuts, and certainly things Steph could do that would be troublesome for Magic. Ultimately, I'm still gonna give Magic and LeBron the nod there, but it's closer.
So do you think sweep? 4 games to none? I say they win in 5.
No, I would say, well, if it's a 7-game series, no, I'd say 4-2.
Oh wow.
4-2 non-Lakers. Yeah,
I'd say
give the
5-1.
non-Lakers a couple games. I mean, let's not pretend like there's not some all-timers on that Lakers team.
No, they're great.
It's an
They are
amazing
great.
fucking team.
They are great.
But
And I do think that, unfortunately, I think the weakest link of this all-time team is Steph Curry because he is the one guy who doesn't play
Probably.
defense.
yeah, probably.
No
And
defense.
he's
Zero.
I wouldn't even call him a weak link.
Yeah,
he's
no,
gonna
he's
hit
not,
some
but he's their
bombs.
weakest link. Like, because he knows no defense.
Imagine the 2-man game though that like he and Larry could have played together, just working that perimeter. Holy shit! Oh my god, would have been abuse.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then, I mean, the problem is how do you give everybody their due?
Well, yeah, right. There's not enough balls to go around.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what she said. All right. So
Gross. Yeah. Anyways, how is this actually?
yes, let's get into it. I wonder if I have any old clips here. Can I do that? Oh yeah, here we go. Let's do this one. Boop.
Welcome to the Rotten Tomatoes game. How is this actually?
I'm excited for this. I love the how is this actually. I mean, I like how is this only too, but
Yeah.
it's a lot harder to find the how is this actually than the how is this only.
It is. It really is. It does. It's tough because you have these movies that you love, but you could be like, oh, I freaking hate this movie, but then go and then everybody else hates it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all right, well, let's get into the how is this actually, and you, my friend, are going to go up first. I have mine. I have actually. If you can, you know what? I'll see if I can pull up. Let's see what we got here. Hold on, my friend. Why is this not pulling up? There we go. Quit that. All right, and now I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to try and see if I can get the Rotten Tomatoes score for yours as soon as you tell me, because I haven't seen it yet. Although I'm lagging here, internet's lagging. All right, what do you got? What do you got for your Rotten Tomatoes? How is this actually?
So what's interesting about this? Now, I think the audience got this one right, but the critics did not. So this really actually almost pissed me off a little. So my how is this actually is Scream 2.
Ooh.
Scream 2 comes in at 81% with 79 reviews from critics.
Wow.
Its audience score, rightfully so, 250,000 plus ratings, is 57%. Now, to be clear, I actually like this movie. I do. It falls under almost like the guilty pleasure thing, because I like even Scream 3 falls under guilty pleasure for me, but I can admit that Scream 2 and Scream 3 they're not good movies. So how is that movie actually 81%? But here's what really disturbs me. Hold on, I just want to look it up just to make sure that I'm being accurate. But what really disturbs me more than anything is that the original Scream movie.
No, it's not.
1996. Okay. That movie, by critics and by audience, an identical score of 79%. How is Scream 2 81%? And it is apples to apples in the sense that they both have actually Scream 2 has 79 critic reviews and Scream the original has 75 reviews. So it's apples to apples. It's a similar amount of reviews. It's 2 percentage points higher than Scream, which, if you recall, Scream is on my Rushmore of horror movies.
That is an amazing movie. I love that movie.
So
And
how
I'm
is
not a big
Scream
horror
2
fan.
In what world was Scream 2 better? That's like saying Jaws 2 is better than Jaws.
I don't remember Scream 2 that well.
It's the one where they're in college.
Okay.
She's okay. She's in college. She's in college. The one where Randy gets killed and
There are some iconic moments in the first one.
that movie is just iconic.
Yeah.
In fact, if we could have done a how is this only segment with Scream at 79%.
Yeah.
But it's still,
That should be in the 90s, for sure.
it's still fresh, so like it's kind of hard for me to do that.
This
But
should be in the 90s.
yes, it should be in the night. That's on my Rushmore of horror movies. When we did our horror movie
That's a good one. I
Rushmore
like that.
list, it was on there. I think it might have been my Lincoln. Because, Halloween was obviously my George Washington. But I mean,
I've seen
I'm
all
sorry.
the Scream movies. I don't remember, like the other 2, 3, and 4 or whatever. They all blend
Scream
together.
2 is at 81%, and the original Scream is at
That's
79.
ridiculous, yeah.
How is this actually?
Yeah, I like
Scream
that. That's a good
2.
one. That's a good one. That is a good one. I like that.
It's a good pull, right?
Yeah, that is a good one. I'm impressed with that one. I like that.
Thanks. I put some research into that.
All right, so mine is one that has a huge fan base. Huge fan base. I have talked about this movie before and how I think it's a subpar movie. So my movie for this, how is this actually?
By the way, Timmy Tim is right though. Scream 2 did have the great line of Randy saying Showgirls is his favorite scary movie. What's your favorite scary movie? Showgirls. Absolutely frightening. That was a good line. It was a good line. That was just before he got gutted in the van, by the way.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen. There we go. All right, so my how is this actually is the movie Avatar. So this is
I
a
almost
movie.
picked Avatar.
No, you didn't.
I was close.
So
I was close.
For me, the plot has been done time and time again. There's a couple of movies out there that have done it and done it better, in my opinion. And I will say the movie itself was visually stunning when it came out.
Yeah.
Like visually,
that was actually why I didn't put it.
Visually at that time, it was like a
stunning.
9.
Yeah.
But the visuals is a 9. The story and the plot and the acting is like a 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you put them together, it's an 11. Divide that by 2, you're at 5.5.
It didn't quite live up to the exceptional film quality that,
No, I would agree.
Especially that deserves multiple sequels. Because, like, if this is just resting on visual laurels, I have a feeling James Cameron is going to be in financial ruin. Because I am sure he's, like he likes to do, puts a lot of his own money into these movies. I'm not sure how much money he's put into this, but like
Avatar's
he's got
82
multiple
and
sequels coming
82.
out.
Wow.
He's got multiple sequels coming out. Multiple.
Wow.
And I hope that for his sake that the people come out in droves.
Yeah.
Because if not,
yeah,
having these sequels, this could be a financial disaster.
This could be a financial and cultural disaster.
So I mean, it's bad.
A channel dedicated entirely to sports. This will never work. By the way, I watched Anchorman 2 last night. I forgot how horrible that movie was. It happened to be on. I think it was on TNT or TBS.
It has some
or something.
moments.
It had some moments, and I actually did find myself laughing through some of the early moments. But man, like the second half, of the movie was just ridiculously terrible. Yeah. Actually, it's almost like a tale of two halves. The first half was actually not horrible. The second half of the movie was just putrid.
Yeah,
my God.
The slow motion RV scene was a little cringy. Like, I don't know. There's some stuff about that was just not great. But ultimately,
I just like when Fantana's like, Ron, who's driving this thing? No, it's on cruise control.
That's the funny part. But then they get into this slow motion scene.
Ron, that just regulates speed.
Yeah. Yeah, he was far ahead of autonomous driving. He was like, he thought it was there.
Yeah, it was. It's on cruise control.
This is a Tesla, isn't it? Tesla. What the hell is a Tesla? Good stuff. Yeah,
I was close on Avatar though. Yeah, wow. I saw the graphic 82 and 82 across the board.
Mm-hmm. I say shame on you to the fans and the critics. I'd say maybe 60%.
Yeah, that's why.
I would give that movie myself. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I think I would too. That's probably the neighborhood I'd be lurking in there. Yeah,
it was visually stunning, but it wasn't something that I wanted to go back and watch over and over and over again.
Oh, I would never watch it again. I think I've watched it once, and I was like, "Wow, that was."
I'll watch it for a few seconds, like if it's on, like on HBO Max or Netflix or something like that, and like I happen to like click on it. I might watch it for a little bit just to see it, but I have no interest in following that.
Yeah, like again. I would skip over that if I just saw that on TBS or TNT
I'd watch it for a few
FX or
minutes.
something. I probably wouldn't even put it on.
Yeah.
Again,
Just to see
aesthetically,
it stands the test of time. You know, I want to see how the visuals.
an
'cause they were
aesthetic
so
masterpiece.
Great. But like,
beyond
you
that,
look back at some of the visuals that they had in like the Star Wars movies. Like,
Yeah.
granted, some of that stuff does not stand the test of time, but there are some things like, you know, when they travel through like the light speed and all that stuff. Like when they're that stuff is
sure,
still badass.
still awesome. I will say this for Avatar.
Even the lightsabers were cool. Like,
It's got arguably, in all of either the Magic or Animal Kingdom, the best fucking ride ever, though. Oh man, that ride is
That's
ride
what I hear.
is
I haven't been on it yet.
badass.
Yeah. Is it
That's a
Pandora?
fucking.
Something like that.
It's yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It is. I just remember like, well, so the last time I was at Disney was 3 years ago, I guess. And the girls and I, we got off it, and we went right back in line. We
Yeah.
just were like, holy shit, that was fucking nuts.
I heard it was
Dude,
like it's like that one that they have at Epcot that you kind of go and you're like hang gliding.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that, but like on steroids, from what I hear.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a crazy
I can't wait
ride.
to go back to Disney.
Well, and what's funny is all you're doing, like if you just look down, all you're doing is just that's all.
But they
I mean, you're
with
just
the wind
oscillating.
they do and all that
Yeah,
stuff they create.
yeah.
It's cool.
And it just it's so
It's
so
a
fucking
cool
great.
like 4D experience.
So great. Yeah, it is so choice.
All
I
right.
highly recommend.
All right. So let's now let me make sure I have the lights on over here so that I can see the Wheel of Destiny to see what we're
The
going to be talking
Wheel
about
of
next week.
Destiny.
The
yes.
wheel. We got to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Spin the Wheel of Destiny. And here's the clip. Wheel of Destiny.
And now
All
you
right.
get to actually spin the wheel.
Yeah, baby.
Here we go. He has spun the wheel, and it landed on.
Oh, OFN. Once, Forever, Never. Adam Sandler movies.
Oh, so this is the F, Marry, Kill of Adam Sandler movies?
Mm-hmm. You know it, baby.
That's going to be tough. That's a big catalog to go through.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan. All right. So let's get into...
Well, I know.
we'll
already know my.
We'll have that
I
next
know
week.
my forever one. I already know that.
Mm.
My once and never. It's going to be tough though.
Yeah.
But
He's got some great ones.
my Mary,
He's got so many.
my Mary is such an easy one. I mean, so for me, so easy.
Yeah.
You probably are.
This is basically FMK. It's basically that's what it is, but it's once, forever, never. You know, so that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, my forever is very, very easy. I mean, God, it's
Mine
in my
is probably
top.
two.
It's probably it might even be on my Rushmore of comedies if we ever did it.
Yeah, mine is probably pretty easy to figure out if you kind of look in my background.
Pixels? I don't know. Do you have pixels? I don't know.
Do you really
I know
not
you like
see in my
pixels,
background?
though. Oh yeah, happy. Yeah. Yeah. I figure that'll work its way into the equation, but it will not be my forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through his catalog and figure out what I want.
That's gonna require a little bit of work.
Yeah, a little bit searching, little search action.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pretty much wrap up our show. Thank you guys for listening, watching, however you took this in. Thanks Tim for your comment. That is a great comment, by the way, epic comment. And we will be live again next Monday. And if you want, click that subscribe button. I'll put this out there.
Smash it.
Smash it. Obliterate. Subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell, and we'll let you know whenever we go live.
Oh, by the way, it is possible, and I'll see if maybe we can. I might be. So I did this registration thing for the WWE Thunderdome, which allows you to be like on camera because the way they set up. Yeah, so like I might actually be tonight. I have the registration thing for 9:15. I guess is the time that I would basically be. They call it my call time. The call time.
Oh yeah.
So I'll have to like be all set up and everything, and like have the camera on me and whatever.
Sick.
Yeah, and then theoretically I would be on the screen. somewhere.
awesome.
I'd be somewhere in the arena, like watching, because that's how they did it. They did virtual fans.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if I get on, I always record
You're gonna dress like the
Well,
Undertaker?
Raw and SmackDown. So I thought about it, but I'll just wear some random wrestling T-shirt probably.
Cool.
But yeah,
Wear that sheep's head that you like to.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, so we gotta show that at some point in time. The little happy birthday video that you did. We gotta put that out there at some point. For Tim Callahan's.
Oh, if he's okay with it, yeah.
Yeah,
As long as he doesn't mind.
we'll have to put that out there. 'Cause I think
I'll
it's
ask him.
hilarious.
I'll
That's
ask
good.
him about
Yeah,
it.
Ask him.
If he's okay with it,
I
sure.
would like to show that because that was a pretty fun little thing that you did.
Oh, just the part that I did?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you can use that.
that little clip.
Well, that's me, so I give you my permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sure if you
Video
want.
that
I mean,
you
it's
did.
like 5
I edited
minutes.
it a little. You kind of it's fun.
Oh, you did awesome with that. Yeah.
So, all right. So thank you guys for watching. You can find us on Twitter at Shane and Bryman. You can find it at me on Twitter at EinhornersFinkel, Instagram at, what is mine? Happy McAvoy. That's right.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at _by_man. And to quote the great Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end. We've reached the end of this show, but we will be back next Monday for OFN
Yes, for the Adam
of Sandler movies.
And
Once
you will,
forever, never.
And we will. I'll be putting out clips throughout the week. Usually 3, maybe sometimes 4, depending on how many segments we have during the show and what's good and what's not. We're all good all the time. So.
And also next week we are doing our mock top 10 draft, right? We're gonna flip a coin
Yes.
to decide. I'm excited for that.
We will do it where we're going to alternate. So, like, I'll take the first pick, you'll take the second pick, third pick, and we'll kind of go back and forth and see where we land and who gets who.
So we need to both prepare our top 10s though, like for you going first and
Yeah,
me
I'm
going.
gonna have to have like 20 probably picks because like if I feel like a team needs like an offensive lineman or like this is like I think their dire need is like quarterback, but now all the quarterbacks are taken.
Yep.
Where's their second? So you gotta have like some backups.
And we have to, there will be some pivoting required here because you might pick a guy that
and I think we should have a clock too.
wanted to. Sure,
Like,
Sure.
Like a 90-second clock or something.
maybe even a minute just to make sure the segment doesn't get out of control.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I like it.
give it a minute.
All right. We'll do that. We'll do that next week. So yeah, let us know what you think, if they think that's going to be any fun or not. But you can find us on Facebook too. Facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. See you Monday. Thanks for being a part of the show.
All right, I'm going to power wash my deck.
And you're what?
My deck.
Oh.
No, I don't want to do that. That would hurt.
What
so
kind of
bad.
weekend did you have?
Rough, apparently.
All right. Peace out. Much love.
Stay classy, Planet Globe.
Yeah. Like.
We love you.
Subscribe. Notification bell. Bye.